Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, Call It Crew, and welcome to another episode of Call It What It Is. I just want to jump in
Because our guest is definitely going to call it what it is
from all the realms.
from
Um,
all the dimensions.
Listen, it's spooky season, and it felt very appropriate to have someone on that can talk to the spirit world, who I am a huge, gigantic fan of. And I'm talking about the Long Island medium, Theresa Caputo. It's funny just because when I went to set after we knew she was coming on, I went to set and I asked the cast and crew and I said, we have Theresa Caputo coming on. Everyone was very excited. I said, do you guys have any questions for, the spirit side of stuff? Everyone had like 40 questions. So I literally had to go on my phone and get the notes app and start
Documents,
writing
little
everything
Google
down.
Doc.
And yes. And I'm so excited because I feel like so many of these questions are just fascinating to me. And I can't wait to hear what she says.
Yeah, yeah. And I think that it's what's super cool about it is that you can believe, not believe, be on the fence about believing, and still be kind of wowed, right? And
Yeah.
you when you're in it, like the times that I've been around mediums, I think I always go in with a little bit of skepticism, and I've never left having the same skepticism. I am a full, just so for the record, I'm a full all in, whole body in to believing that there absolutely is a whole nother realm that some people have access to. And I think that I think intuition is an extension of that. And I think people who have really good intuition really are just more in touch with the other side. That's what I think, Camilla.
I don't disagree with any of that. This is going to be my first time ever talking to a medium or being, in the presence of someone with this gift. So I'm like kind of nervous. I'm excited. I have so many questions. Like I just have a wild question. Like, for example, I want to know, and people brought this up, a Ouija board. Did you ever play with a Ouija board when you were younger? That was a big
Yeah.
no-no in my family.
Yeah, I know you've talked about this. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we definitely did. We did it at sleepovers, and you remember how it had to be balanced on your knees?
No, because I never played.
Oh, you never
Wait, why
played.
did it have to be on your knees? I thought it could be on a table.
Oh, I don't know. I'm remembering it being on your knees, and then your hand sort of lightly touched I want to call it a cursor, but it wasn't a cursor. It was like a plastic thing that
Yeah.
pointed to the letters, right? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, maybe that's my intuition speaking.
All right. I think we just got to bring her in.
Okay, let's do it.
I think I'm on. Okay.
Yes, you
Teresa.
are on.
What are you saying to my Godfrey? You're gorgeous. You're both gorgeous.
My God, I'm so
My.
Teresa, you have no idea. You have
Oh,
no idea the fan that I am of you.
Oh,
really?
oh,
I
yeah.
mean, Jessica and I have been talking about you coming on the
Oh,
pod for since day one.
yep.
Oh my God.
Original wish list.
You were on our
I
original. Yes.
that still
Did you
freaks me
feel
out that
that?
people no. Because that
Well,
literally it always still blows my mind that people know who I am. Because I like to continue to live my life like I'm just Theresa Caputo that lives in Hicksville. I still live
No.
next door to my parents, you know.
well,
No, we're
we are
geeking out.
fans.
Yes.
Thank you.
So Teresa, I went to set. I went to set to Grey's Anatomy, and I
Oh,
told them that you were coming on the show. And I've told them other guests, on the show, and they're like, "Oh,
yeah.
it's so fun." So they bombarded me with questions. It was literally like a line, like cast and crew. We just have so many questions for you.
Oh, so why don't you just have me? Do they have like bring your favorite person to work day
Yeah,
on
you
Grey's
should just
Anatomy?
get us. Yes, yeah. You
Yeah,
should
just
just
get her a cast chair.
You
Yeah.
need a cast chair. You need to come on. You need to be a patient on the show. No, we
Oh,
just
that would be very interesting. I'd love to see that.
have you ever done any acting on any show?
No, no.
Okay.
There's you can't act this. I don't know. Maybe you can. Maybe Jennifer Coolidge could. Maybe but Kelly Ripa does do a good me. I will say that, and Kate McKinnon. But no, I haven't. But I did have my brain tested.
You did. Okay, tell us about that.
Yeah. So, do you know Dr. Amen?
Yes,
Oh, Jessica, you know.
I do.
Yeah, years ago, I was on Dr. Oz, and he actually read my brain as I was reading someone. And because I always said, I don't know what happens. It's almost like spirit clears out my own personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. I have no personal thoughts. It's just what spirit makes me feel. And it's almost like my mind goes blank. And he actually said that I'm able to access a part of my brain that we typically don't, and that my brain shows no activity as I'm channeling. So
Spooky.
I don't understand.
That's amazing. Okay, so Jessica, before you came on, Jessica was talking about how she feels like she has a little bit of a gift herself.
Yes.
Well, Jessica, why don't you talk about it? Because we're wondering if it's something that you're born with. Can you develop it? Can you grow it?
Well, first of all, I always say we all have the ability to connect with our own departed loved ones. I know that I feel that and know and believe that this is a soul bond that can never be broken. So things that you sense and feel that remind you of your loved one that has died, know that that is them. Know that that is the soul reminding you that they're living life through your eyes. I believe in life in general, that we can grow anything or nurture anything. Do I think more? Some people are more connected. Yes, some people are more empathic, where they're more sensitive to, people's energy, emotions. I always say I was born this way. I mean, I've been seeing spirits since I'm 4. And I always used to say to my mom, I don't feel right. I feel different than everyone else. I don't feel like I belong here. And my mom finally said to me one day, she's like, listen, she goes, I don't know why you feel this way. You're not adopted. You belong to this family. So stop feeling this way. But
Snap out of it.
yeah, and I come from a very spiritual family. So they believe in an afterlife. They believe in that connection. And I also come from a very strong faith family. So I struggled with my gift for so many years because of my faith. Yeah. And, because as it started to develop, I used to say to my mom, I'm getting this, I'm feeling this. And my mom's like, oh, that's great. Oh, okay. Like no one ever really made a big deal about the things. Yeah. And then it wasn't until 9/11 is when I had this spiritual experience where I was shown that many people perished that day and their loved ones were left with these negative emotions, burdens, guilt, should have, could have, would have. And they were left with all these things that they were afraid that their loved one wasn't okay or what even happened. So I kind of put my gift in God's hands and I said, look, if this is my soul's journey, then open the doors for me. And I will gladly walk through these doors with my gift, but I only want to be able to help people. I want to be able to help people to heal, to move on with their life and to find some happiness. And here I am.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So I feel like I come from the women in my family are very intuitive. And that can come in lots of different ways. I mean, the ones that always make all of us go, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is, one of us will be thinking about the other one and the phone will ring. Yeah. Which is pretty cliche one, but it happens a lot, like a lot. Or just coincidences that, could be lots of things, but I think that we all believe are that tethering, that connection, that soul bond that you were just talking about. I also feel like I definitely feel other people's energy in a different way than others. Like that. And sometimes, by the way, it's too much. Do you feel overwhelmed like that?
I feel overwhelmed in a lot of different ways, but especially with my friends and family and stuff like that. It's almost like I can't tell you how I do this, but I feel like I'm able to separate myself from certain things, from, just being able to hang out with my girlfriends and not feel anything, especially when they're going through something. So it's almost like a natural instinct that I'm able to do without even realizing it to kind of remove myself from certain things or not feel certain things.
So when I watch you and you're doing readings, I've seen you do a prayer beforehand and sort of like there's a protection process that happens before you read. If you didn't do that, what would you feel?
Oh, that I don't. I do it before anything I do. I always protect. I did it right before I came on. I clicked into the link and I sat here and I did my little meditation because I never know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
spirit always has me say things for a reason.
Yeah.
And I think this is also something that I don't know if a lot of people know about me. I do what I do truly to validate an afterlife for people. It's never about believing in what I do or even in mediums. I really don't care if people believe in what I do. I want them to believe in themselves, because what I've also learned over these decades of doing what I do, some people, they could be the most spiritual person, the most faithful person, and they have a tragedy in their family. They lose a loved one, and all of that goes out the window. They don't know how to live. They don't want to live. They don't want to
Mhm.
have a faith, and they don't know what to believe in anymore. And I feel that the work that I do gives people that gift back. It gives them their faith back in a sense.
I know I've seen this on your shows. I've seen
Yeah.
these moments where it's like people seem completely lost and
Mm-hmm.
they have it's such a healing moment
Mm-hmm.
with you. I guess my question is I'm so curious, and this question came up a lot. When
Okay.
you're in a situation where you have thousands of people in a
Mm-hmm.
massive convention center and you're going into a reading, are you hearing thousands of spirit voices?
No, I don't hear thousands of like that. I don't, it's not like that for me.
Yeah. So how does it happen?
So I don't know. It just
I know,
happens.
I know, I know.
So I'll tell you my process,
Yes.
like
What's the
before I come out
process?
on stage.
Sure.
So before
Yeah.
I come out on stage, there's a sizzle reel that we play before I actually come out on the stage. It's to kind of get people, because some people aren't familiar with what I do. So I'm doing my meditation. Sometimes I start to sense and feel things, but it's not usually until I finish my speech after I hit the stage. I will just start sensing and feeling things. I am like, for instance, I came into this Zoom, and right before I came in, I felt extremely nervous, and I felt uh, I don't mean this in a negative way, like apprehensive. So sometimes that might be if someone might be, they might believe in what I do, be very spiritual, but they might not want to hear from their loved ones, or they
Mm,
might don't feel that they're ready, or they're afraid of what they might hear or might not hear. And I always tell people the work that I
mm.
do, when spirit comes through, it's to help us. And
Yeah.
it's never anything that is going to make us feel bad or sad. It's always just going to be little things that I say. Sometimes I don't even realize I say things to people, and they'll be like, oh my God, I had the conversation that we had the other day on the phone. I know my dad was channeling through you. Like my girlfriends will say that to me, be like, I felt his
Mm,
presence, and the things that you were saying were just things that I was thinking and that I was talking to him about the night before. So I just do things that I'm not even aware of.
interesting.
Mm.
The energy you're talking about is interesting to me.
It is. And to say this about my live shows, it's to be in a space of thousands of people,
Yeah.
to watch someone heal right in
Yeah.
front of you, and to feel that energy. You can't even describe it. And I'm doing this like 15 years now, almost 15 years, doing live shows all over the country. And every time I hit that stage, something amazing happens, and I walk off of that stage feeling like, oh my God, spirit exceeded once again any expectation I ever would have had of them.
Have you ever had a reading? Because you're talking about like, being worried about people not coming through or coming through. Or have you ever had a reading where nobody has come through?
That has not happened. That
Yeah.
has not happened.
Mm.
That's amazing to me. Have you ever had a reading where you feel sort of well, do you believe that there's also like a dark energy spirit? Does that exist out there?
I'm sure there is. I don't encounter those. So this is how I explain
Okay.
it to people. And I
Yeah.
use this reading that happened many years ago at a live show as the example. I always say, I only channel souls that walk in God's white light. So
Mm.
from what spirit has explained to me, there's different levels on the other side. So if a soul enters at this level, a soul up here can lower their vibration to be with that soul to help them learn lessons, channel, whatever it is. But the soul down here can't move up until they learn that lesson. Okay.
Got it.
I was doing a reading for this woman, and unfortunately, her daughter was murdered by her boyfriend. And I could see below the daughter an energy. I could see a soul, but I couldn't feel anything from him, couldn't hear anything from him. And she said, please tell my mom that he is sorry and remorseful and knows what he took from her. And after those words came out of my mouth, I went, oh my God, this is a murder suicide. And I went, oh my God, Theresa, what did you just say? But the mother looked at me and said, that's why I came here. I wanted to know if he was remorseful and if he was sorry and if he knew how he took my life from me the day that he killed my daughter.
But you couldn't hear his voice.
I couldn't hear his voice, but I could see the energy. So, but she was able, because I couldn't lower my vibration low enough. And again, don't ask me how. I don't know. I could just tell you what I see. And how in the world would I know that that's what that woman came to that show for? Mm-hmm. And I always say it's not up to me what spirit has me say or not say. Mm-hmm. I have to trust that. I just sometimes, if they show me something, I sometimes have to try to find a way to deliver the message with dignity and grace.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that must be a really big piece of this.
I make what I do look very easy. And it's just, I don't know how to be any different. It is the hardest thing that I have to do is to stand in front of someone and have the souls of the departed take us on this emotional roller coaster, because I also want spirit to communicate with levity. We need the levity. These are very heavy messages. And to really validate that the loved one's soul is at peace, I feel what a better way to do that with that personality and with laughter. And it's so hard. But I always say to people, I wouldn't trade what I do for anything here in the physical world. I consider it an honor and a privilege to do this work. And the fact that people trust me with the souls of their departed loved ones means the absolute world to me. Yeah. Because I don't think it's easy to go to a medium. I don't think it's easy especially sitting across from me.
You're the first medium I've ever spoken to, by the way. Oh, I've never been in the presence of a medium.
Oh, have you wanted to?
Yes. It's
but
taken
but you're but I don't feel, I feel like you're ready. But I don't know about what. So I'll ask. And then if anything comes through, I'll tell you. I'll ask what it, because I felt very guarded at first. And these are just my symbols. And then I felt the guard kind of went down a little bit. So it was almost like, oh, you know what? I feel comfortable. I don't know if that's the way you felt going into this. I feel a little guarded. I'm a little nervous, but I'm welcoming anything.
I think I have family members that are not into it, right? So, and so that's a little hard. And also I feel like, I guess my question is if someone's on the, sorry.
Well, I'm just going to say this to you. Whether someone has difficulty with what I do, I try to look at myself something separate. I do what I do to help people. And I was just shown there was a separation, and separation for me could be emotional, geographical communication, or a long time that someone is departed.
Yeah.
And I just felt that you needed to know that the soul knows of the woman that you've become, has not missed out on your life. You have children, because I see the soul. It's a mother figure. So I don't know if it's your grandmother or an aunt or someone like a mom or your actual mom, but holding souls of children before coming here into the physical world. So knowing of your children. And I don't know, do you have children?
I do.
Okay. And do you feel like you see this soul in your child?
I see her. It's okay. Sorry. I'm just going to do it. I see her with my daughter. Okay. My daughter, it's very similar.
So know that when you see those things, and I feel like your daughter might even acknowledge your mom, never met your mom, doesn't know who she is, but even I don't know if she has I don't know if she's old enough to have imaginary friends, or if she showed me my granddaughter. So my granddaughter is only 2.5, but she's very connected to spirit.
My daughter, I thought when she was little, she saw my mom.
Perfect. Know that was real. Know that was the soul showing themselves. Young children and animals are very sensitive to the souls of the departed, because we as adults, our minds are so busy with burdens and guilt and just busyness of a day. Young children, their minds are free. That's why they say kids say the darndest things, right? And a lot of times it's the truth because they just say what it is that they're feeling.
It's interesting though, because my mother, I think what's hard for me a little bit is my mother didn't I was raised Catholic, right? So it's like you're not like.
So am I. I'm a practicing Catholic. They take my money every week, but they don't agree with what I do. I mean,
So I'm curious, like if you have a soul on this side, if you had a person on this side that like was raised that way and was not into that stuff, does it prevent them? I mean, I guess something
No.
is coming through already, but yeah.
I've had souls tell me, oh my God, I was afraid they weren't going to come through because they were an atheist. They didn't have a faith.
Yeah.
They didn't have a religion.
Yeah.
It just happened the other night. There was a young boy that died, and he kept showing me he was standing with the Blessed Mother and doing the sign of the cross. And he made me feel like he had no faith. And I said to the mom, even though your son was not a practicing in their religion or faith, because that's someone's personal being, his soul has found a place with God. And she said, that is all I wanted to know. So, people come, and I feel like the work that I do, I can only speak about myself, why I do what I do, and how I allow the souls to use my physical body as a vessel. Was there something that there's two things. Your mom showed me jewelry. So I don't know if you have a piece of her jewelry, but then I felt like you were either searching for something or you wanted something of hers.
I had a piece of her jewelry.
Okay.
I had a ring.
And did it get lost or?
It's gone.
So now, can I just ask you this? Did you just get like a chill or like a goosebump?
Well, it's funny because I told my husband before I got on here, I was like, if she brings up the ring, then I'll know. If she brings up like that specific piece of jewelry, like that would be crazy.
Look, and I felt like you were searching for it. How would I know that?
I was. Yeah. I mean,
how would I know that?
Lost it.
So this is your mom's way of saying to you, yes, you had, let's just say, her most prized possession or whatever it is. And now you lost it. You feel that she would be upset. My grandmother would always use terms like, oh, they must be turning in their grave. It's the farthest thing from that. Validating for you that even though you are still searching for this piece of jewelry, doesn't mean that your mom is upset, disappointed. Do you understand that?
No, yeah, I know that she wouldn't be. Yeah, she wasn't really, like it was a really amazing piece of jewelry that meant a lot, but I know that she wouldn't be like that. No.
But there's no way I would know that. Or more importantly, valid. This is the other thing. I think I say this even in all my speeches before I do a reading. I always say, look, people come in with a list and they even say, look, if this is real, my loved one's going to say this, 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 and this. And I tell people your loved ones might talk about those things, but I can guarantee you there's going to be a lot of things that you would never expect them to bring up or talk about because there are only so many different ways that people can pass away. And there are common burdens and guilt that we might carry. I always say that's not my fault or spirit's fault that these things are common. So I need them to talk about unique and different things that you would never feel that they would know about, and especially in exact conversation.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because I feel like I'm open to this, but I just didn't know if she would be open to it. Jessica knows this. Like I was
she just snapped her fingers at me and then she restricted my throat. So did you not get the opportunity to say goodbye to her or?
I did not.
Okay. So knowing that everything and anything that you said to her, know that she is heard. She doesn't want you to feel that anything was left unsaid. How do you connect with, I don't know if it's 2017. How do you connect with the number 17? So it'll either be the 17th of a month, it'll be the age, or like January and July, but you would have to connect with both months as far as birthdays or anniversaries.
I mean, my husband was born on the 17th.
Okay. She went like this to me. So that means that there has more meaning to it.
The 17th.
Your husband. So look, is this a validation that she's saying, if you wonder, oh my God, does my mom know? Your mom didn't know your husband? Is that correct? Okay. Validating for you. I wonder if my mom knows about my husband, bringing up his birth date. Well, who was the father figure for him that is departed?
Who? Your
husband. So it'll be either his dad or grandfather or uncle.
He has a grandfather that's departed.
And I feel like he has something very, he kept something of his grandfather's that doesn't have any monetary value whatsoever. Because he showed me like a wallet. It's just my symbol. It doesn't have to be a wallet. It's just my validation that he has something that really doesn't have any monetary value.
He does.
Validating that your mom does know of your husband, knows of your children. How do you connect with trees? So trees could be, I don't know, you like trees. Um, your husband's a landscaper.
No, I don't know how I would connect with
Or there
trees.
could be a tree planted in memory of someone, or if someone was buried near a tree.
I don't know about that
I'm going to
connection.
pass on it. I actually
Okay.
like when someone does something because it
Okay.
might be someone might say, oh my God, I thought about doing it. Or it just is also my symbol for where we did something in memory and in honor of a loved one.
Okay. I can't think of what that would be
That's
right now.
okay. That's fine. To who passed from the brain? Like either a brain tumor, Alzheimer's, or like a dementia, because I just got a pain in the side of my head.
I don't know. Maybe my husband. Jessica, is this you?
Or unless if somebody was shot.
No.
Okay. Who else is on this call? Who's this? Who's
Me.
Emma?
Oh,
Emma, Courtney, Ashley, are you guys on this? Do you guys recognize anything to do with this?
My mom's dad
Oh,
committed suicide and shot
okay.
himself in the head.
So validating for you, I asked the souls to step forward because it's just validating that that soul has found a place with God and knowing that the soul is at peace. I always want souls to step forward that you would never expect to bring up or people or that I would know about. Fair enough. So just know that the soul is at peace. And do you understand the tree as well?
I don't understand the tree, but that just shook me up like
Okay.
really
Is this
hard.
Ashley?
I'm
Ashley, is
sorry.
that you?
yeah.
It's
Okay.
Ashley.
And then I just heard this, Ashley. I'm just going to say this one other thing. Please don't let the way that I died define who I was. So now this is an example of why someone might come to see me. How can someone heal if they're afraid that their loved one's soul is not safe and at peace with God because of the way that they left the physical world? And what I do is about healing. It is not about anything else. We're going to grieve the loss of our loved ones for the rest of our lives here in the physical world. The healing process is something completely different. Grief is like this. It's this emotion, this powerful emotion that not only does it have anywhere to go, but it comes in waves and it's so heavy at times. And sometimes it seems a little lighter. And that is my wish for people is that the grief becomes lighter. It's not going to go away, but being able to reflect on back and maybe taking something positive from having a reading with me and replacing it with the negative feelings that they have. And this is how they're able to release those negative emotions and really start to heal.
Have you ever said no to a reading for somebody?
Have I ever said no to to a person or to a soul, like someone physical?
Either, I
No,
guess.
no. Mm-mm.
Okay, Jessica. I know we have so many questions. Oh my goodness. We have so many questions.
Sort of like you were explaining, I actually feel like my brain has just been wiped.
It's just trippy talking about all of this. It's just your mind kind of feels like,
Yeah, the way that with all the people that are on this call, that you're not hearing everyone.
I always say souls especially if there's more people in my presence, and sometimes even if it is just one person, souls will band together to deliver messages at one time. So that's why my live shows, they're so powerful and why people walk away feeling something, even if they don't personally get read, they take something from that.
does it make you not afraid of death at all?
I'm not afraid to die. And I think that's something that I always struggled with, especially being young. And I think maybe most of us do. I don't want to die.
Yes, yeah, but you're not afraid.
But I'm not afraid because I know that I will be greeted by loved ones that have gone on before me.
Do you see when you say that you're seeing, is it a picture in your mind or do you ever see spirit kind of physically in the world, almost like a ghost?
So I used to, I don't anymore. I think because I work so much and I literally, when I first started doing mediumship, long before Long Island Medium and Raising Spirits, I would be like getting ready for work and I would see a man standing behind me. And then I would describe the person to the person that I was reading. They're like, oh yeah, that was my dad. That was my brother. And I had a little sit down and I said, listen, if you want me to do this work, I got to stop seeing them like that because it's freaking me out. It was constant and it didn't stop. So I don't see them like they'll just show me a flash. Like before when you were speaking, Jessica, is that your name?
Yeah.
I kept seeing I kept seeing dog tags and someone saluting you.
Oh, you're talking about Ashley, who was, I think Ashley, who's not on this pod right now with us.
Oh, well, I don't know that
Oh,
I don't know where this went to, but I just kept seeing
okay.
it, but I didn't feel pushed enough to say something to someone. So
Oh,
there's also a difference. So I can always see things, feel things, sense things,
Mm-hmm.
but not always feel the need to say something to someone,
Mm-hmm.
if that makes sense.
no, that does. Yeah. You have a daughter.
I do.
Does she also have this gift?
My daughter shows extreme similarities to myself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And my son as well, but my son is very different. He's just extremely intuitive. He just has this sensitive. Well, everyone knows my son, my son, my son. He's this sweet, sensitive, you know.
We have a son too. We both the little babies, the little
There's
bitty
just
babies.
something about him. And both my children, they just have this aura and presence about them. But so he shows his gifts in a different way, I feel, than my daughter. My daughter shows most like me, but she doesn't. She struggles with it, because she struggles with anxiety and a lot of other things, and it's very difficult to navigate through.
Wow.
Yeah.
I had someone who wanted to ask you about orbs.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they have been seeing orbs. They were actually living in a house that was considered haunted, and they have been seeing orbs. They've caught them on camera.
Okay.
Is that something that you do believe is a manifestation of spirit, or no, in your experience?
Yes. In my experience. So there was just an episode where we just did on Raising Spirits where they were taking pictures and you could see the orbs. I was like, oh, here's your mom's face right here. And when you zoomed into the orb, you literally saw the mom's features. Yeah. It was the episode Raising Spirits with John Thiessen of this foundation that I work with here on Long Island. And yeah. And you could literally see his mother's face. So a lot of times a blurb or an orb. See, years ago, we used to take it as double exposure, right? With negatives.
Mm-hmm.
We'd be like, oh, it was just a double exposure. But if you take an orb and you kind of expand it and you kind of look around, a lot of times you might see old pictures that you had of your loved ones that might be hanging on a refrigerator or even a photo album. And it's them right there because they're showing you the way that they were when they were healthy. Because they don't want us to remember them suffering and or sick. They want us to remember them because they say from the moment the soul leaves the physical body, they leave behind all of that suffering. They don't take it with them. So I believe in blurbs and orbs, distortions, blurriness in pictures where you could see where it looks really blurry, the whole picture. That's the soul moving swiftly past someone. And then the next picture will be perfectly fine.
Wow.
Oh God,
Yeah.
this is blowing my mind right now. Okay, Jess, next question for you.
I was just going to say to you, but next question.
So crazy.
I know. I mean, I'm like along for the ride.
Want me to keep talking? Like I can do that. I could nonstop talk.
I mean, there's something that's telling me yes.
But you know how I feel with you? Like, I feel like you're so open and like, because you had such a great experience, you're open to it. And you see how messages can help someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like I don't look at it as a blank. You really came into this with an open mind, an open heart, an open soul, and just like whatever's going to happen is going to happen. And I think that's why you feel that way.
I think that's true. And I think that I believe so much in things happening when they were meant to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean like whenever people say, everything happens for a reason. I sort of think that that's not true because I actually think that I think that's a hard thing to say to someone who's really grieving, right? The way that you're talking, that actually has real knowing.
I think it's important to trust your intuition and your gut instinct. I always say that's your loved ones. And if you don't mind me saying it, even God guiding you and saying, you got to pay attention here. And I understand that things happen for a reason, and I know, how many times
my daughter was born in 2017.
Oh,
She said
There you
17.
go.
You said 17, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
There you
you'll be
go.
able to connect with it in a lot of
In different ways.
Yeah.
in
Sorry.
different ways.
Sorry. I just was like,
Bingo.
I love the way you raised your hand because that was totally like, like, oh, I got it.
I'm like, that's an important
Yeah.
number in my world.
I
Yeah.
mean, it's happened time and time again when a child wants me to say to their mom, I was exactly where I was supposed to be the day that I died. How do I say that to someone?
That's hard.
But then the souls will explain it. And that's the thing that is amazing. Sometimes they'll have me say, I almost died at birth, or something happened as a young child where I shouldn't have survived. And where I look at it that God gave us these 17 years. He didn't take you from me. We were given this gift of 17 years. And I think, because there's most certainly been things in my life that have happened. And I was like, oh, and I thought it was like the end of the world. And I did almost die. And I looked at it like, yeah, you know what? This happened for a reason. Because I needed to reground myself. I needed to reprioritize my life and get my life in order. And, so things I do believe truly do happen for a reason. I don't think it's a cliche statement. And I don't believe in coincidences. I believe that is something playing a bigger part in our life.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Do you, when someone dies really young, do they end up sort of growing up on the other side?
The soul grows. That's an interesting, yes, because souls will show me that. They'll show me they'll show me the number 4, and then they'll they'll show me their soul below my knees, and then they'll be my height. That's my symbol for that the soul has grown on the other side. And some people will say, sometimes they'll have me say, I showed my mom in a dream, they just dreamt of a little girl and she didn't recognize her, tell her that's what I would look like. And how would I know that? I don't even dream of my loved ones that have died.
So crazy.
And they'll say, I did have a dream and I thought it was my daughter. So, and I think the thing that I love about the work that I do is that it allows people to feel the way that they feel and to validate what they're feeling, where other people might think that they're crazy or that it's just wishful thinking or they're just trying to make themselves feel better. It's still, after all these years of doing what I do, spirit continues to have me do or say something that my jaw just drops. And I'm like, I'm out. I gotta go. Because it's crazy. It's crazy in an amazing way.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you have spirit guides that help you with this process? Okay.
Oh, I have 2.
Are they human spirit guides, or were they humans once, or are they angels? What do you consider them to be?
That I don't know. I was just shown that they were my spirit God side. And then I have Chief, which is native, so indigenous. He watches over and he takes care of a different part of my gift.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you able to have conversations with them?
Yeah.
I have. They're the ones that showed me that this is the work that I have to do. They also told me this is my last journey here in the physical world, that my soul will not re-enter because I've done the work. And now I don't know if I'm going to then become a guardian angel or a spirit guide or what have you. Because some people have said spirit guides never walked the earth before. Some people say that there are other loved ones. So the work that I do is so much more than just communicating with people that have died. It has reunited families back together. It has given people back their faith. And whatever that is, sometimes it's a religion, faith in themselves, faith in living life again. And because no matter what has happened to us in the past 5 years, 4 years, we all lost something. And I think we deserve to grieve whatever that is, an argument, a friendship, a job. Maybe we retired and retirement doesn't look the same. I think we have to just learn to love, honor, and respect ourselves more than anything.
For sure.
We've never been so like sucked in, Jess, on a podcast. like, Theresa, you got us. We're like,
I
we
know.
could do this for
I'm
hours
like,
with you.
I
I know
know.
you don't have
I
hours.
feel a little dumb, to be honest.
No.
I feel like my brain just got sucked out of my head.
I know because we're talking about something that's just so important. I really think it's just so important. We're talking about the spirits of people that we love so much and this world that we really don't know anything about. And it's hard not to know all the things. And
Right.
so I think when you're in the presence of someone that has this kind of gift, it's just so exciting and you're in so much awe that you don't even know all, like, it's like, I'm glad that I have some questions written down because they're all out the window now.
Well,
Yeah.
sometimes I always feel like if you go over the questions, somehow during our conversation, they were probably answered in some
Yes.
way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I think that what you do is so incredible and it is interesting to have been raised in a way that, you're not supposed to like meddle with all those things.
Yeah.
And as I've gotten older, I've just really don't feel that way anymore because I feel like if I crossed over and we had the opportunity to speak to my kids, I would take that opportunity. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that,
Sure.
every spirit feels that way. I'm sure some spirits don't. Well, do you come across spirits that refrain from coming through?
That refrain from coming through?
Yes.
No, because if I can see them, I know that they're there for a reason.
Oh,
So that they have something to say. And I
okay.
think it's important. You used the word and I liked it. You said meddling, and you're 100% right. There are probably people and things on how people meddle on the other side that they shouldn't, you know.
Yeah.
Um, I can just speak for myself. I protect
Yes.
everything that I do in God's white light. I treat the souls of the departed like my children. If you have nothing nice to say, then don't say anything at all. Go to the back of the room.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
And I just love when spirit, when you could just feel that someone is lighter, where you could just see it. You'll have to come to one of my live shows. I mean, because just to
yes.
feel it and witness it
Yeah.
is just something. And to watch spirit guide me around a space is it's just insane.
Well, I watch your show, Raising Spirits.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've watched all your shows. I know that this is like your newest show,
Yeah.
but every episode I'm sucked in. Like
Yeah.
every single episode I walk away and it doesn't feel like a TV show to me. It feels like
Right.
like a spiritual experience just being an audience member.
It is.
So I can imagine in a live show where you're touring with so many people, the energy in that audience must be palpable, like
it
just
is.
crazy. Yes.
And to watch perfect strangers console one another,
Yes.
that's what always gets me.
Yeah.
Is, it kind of restores my faith in the world.
Yeah.
Connection.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do
It's-
incredible
yeah.
and very powerful
I
work.
know.
Wow.
I know. I
Thank
want
you.
to talk to you all day, Theresa.
You can have me back on.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
You're only a Zoom away.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you for
You're
coming on.
very
Thank you
welcome.
for your openness, for your teaching, for your healing. Really grateful.
Thank you.
And then, Theresa, where can people get tickets for your tour?
TheresaCaputo.com. And I
Okay.
tell people out there too, there's a lot of scams out there. If people are contacting you, pretending to be me, asking for money, it is not me.
Okay.
Join my fan club so you could purchase tickets at the correct ticket pricing. It's $19.99. It's worth it to purchase the tickets. And I give all the proceeds after the cost of running the fan club back to the fans. So we're able to do a lot of great
Amazing.
things, donating money, doing great fan club events, and a lot of great work. So I just want to thank the both of you for really,
Thank
I guess,
you.
giving me a platform in a way of just really showing a different side of me. So I appreciate that very
Yeah.
much.
Thank you. And thank you for talking to some of our people on the other side.
Of course. Anytime.
Okay. Awesome. All right. We'll have to have you back on. And maybe I'm
Yes.
going to steal you for a longer
Oh.
reading at some point.
You never
Yes.
know. You never
Okay.
know.
Thank you.
Anytime.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right, have
you
a great
so
day,
much.
guys.
Thank
God
you.
bless.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Oh my God.
Holy moly.
Literally.
Oh my gosh, that was a lot. That was a lot. I've never seen us be speechless.
Yeah, we always have I had all these questions and I don't know what happened. I feel like I was just so sucked in. I didn't even want to bother talking. It's almost how I felt. I was like, let me just listen to her all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
She believes that people have this gift.
Yeah. I felt a little self-conscious that I was like, yeah, I feel intuitive too. Meanwhile, I'm like, not compared to her.
Well, that's a next level. And I didn't realize that she had it since she was 4, too.
The other mediums that I have spoken with, it was very, very
That's very
young.
young. I
The
can't
gift comes
imagine.
to them. Yeah. And it's also like that feeling of, I feel like the common thread is feeling not like the others when that's happening.
Yeah. No, I think that when you're in the presence of someone that it feels like they have that like telephone line, right? That like direct
Access.
service. Yeah, that access. It's just, you don't want to stop talking.
She also impressed me with her ability to translate and the way that she has created her own filters for
Yeah.
what's coming through her. It seemed very much like it was about healing. Like I heard her say healing the
Yes.
most, and I heard
Yeah.
her really categorize what she has as a gift. And that if
Yeah.
she could use that gift to heal others and help others, that'd be what she wants.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Well, we can see each other. You guys can't see us, but I cried
I
multiple
cried
times.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was very emotional. This is one of those podcasts that we're gonna say goodbye to you guys, but I think I'll just sit in my chair for like an hour just processing it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We definitely want to have her back on. And I
Yeah.
know we only got through a few questions, but you guys, if you have more, send us. And I promise that I'll try and
We'll figure it
try
out.
to remember.
We haven't had one single person where we're like, and we're done with you. No more are you.
No, no, but this one was extra wild.
Yeah.
This
I
one
loved it.
was another realm.
I loved it. And I love you.
And I love you
Just want to
too.
say
It was such
that.
a I mean, I want to like cry that I like got to like talk to somebody through you too.
Yeah.
With you.
Very special.
Okay. All right, you guys, this was an extra, extra special episode of Call It What It Is. Jessica, why don't you call it?
Yes, I think that we can now call it the end
End
of
of
the
the
episode.
episode.